If the Toyota range were a traditional family unit, the CHR here would definitely be the crazy sibling. It's certainly a head-turner compared to the brand's fellow small SUV, the Toyota Corolla Cross, but it's also significantly more expensive. This mid-spec here, the Cobra, is nearly 50 grand. So, aside from its looks, which I dare say will divide, what else makes this hybrid SUV stand out in a popular segment? Let's roll. This generation Toyota CHR arrived in Australia just a couple of months ago, and as you can see, has caused quite a stir, with an arguably more radical design than we're used to seeing from the brand. It also promises more advanced technology than its predecessor, and a switch to entirely hybrid power. That makes it the first Toyota model since Prius to not have a conventional petrol or diesel option available. The base model CHR GXL starts at $42,990 plus on-road costs. This mid-spec model that I'm testing, the Cobra, starts at $49,990. Just under the $50,000 mark, that's $11,525 dearer than its outgoing petrol variant. And then the highest spec in the range, the GR Sport, starts at $54,990. All sounding quite pricey? Well, yes. This is the only Toyota in Australia that's actually made in Europe, and therefore an import tariff is applied. In fact, Australia and Europe are the only places to receive the CHR. Toyota has decided not to sell the car in America or Japan, for example. This variant of the CHR comes with bi-LED headlights, 19-inch alloy wheels, heated fabric and suede upholstered seats with power adjustment for the driver, and a 9-speaker sound system. I've already mentioned the CHR's brand stablemate, the Toyota Corolla Cross, but also worth considering are the Nissan Qashqai e-Power and the Hyundai Kona, which was crowned Drive's Small SUV of the Year in 2024. Whilst the Qashqai e-Power is more in line with the CHR price-wise, both the mid-spec Corolla Cross and the Kona hybrid models are priced in the mid-30s, with not a dissimilar suite of safety and tech. Now, when it comes to the design of this car, there is plenty to talk about, which, to be fair, isn't something you can often say about the design of a Toyota. I said at the start that I thought the design might divide opinion. So let's start with the obvious. I think the amber yellow of this car really speaks to its personality. And I think the two-tone looks fantastic, especially driving down city roads. But it is optional. And if you're after something more subdued, there are plenty of other colour options available. It seems like Toyota were determined to have some fun with this one. The Toyota Corolla Cross is certainly more sensible looking and, as a result, probably more practical too. But this isn't designed with practicality at the forefront. Make no mistake, this isn't an ideal family car. It's more suited to child-free people who want a small SUV, and a hybrid one at that. Toyota have gone for a pretty futuristic look here, with this flat nose, the low roofline, and these quite aggressive headlights. Then, as we move round to the side, you can see they've gone for these flush door handles. Now, this is a first for Toyota, and it also makes the car look much more streamlined. Round the back of the car then, we've got this LED CHR logo. We've got a brake light that goes the whole width of the car, and the spoiler up here, which gives the car an overall sportier feel. This design may not be everyone's cup of tea, but it's certainly a fun change from the standardised look we're used to seeing from Toyota. It gets a thumbs up from me, at least, for originality. If you think this is a refreshing change for Toyota, hit the like button. And if you don't like the look of this car, let us know exactly why in the comments below. In front of me here, I have a 12.3-inch driver instrument display and a head-up display, which I love. You can get that in the two higher variants of this car. I've then got a 12.3-inch infotainment system, and that size is standard in all three specs of the car. It's also got Apple CarPlay and Android Auto connectivity. However, if you are an Android user, unfortunately, you still need a wire to connect, which feels a little bit archaic. Having said that, I've always managed to connect absolutely fine, and I think with the size of the screen and the graphics being nice and clear, it's a really user-friendly system. Below the screen here then, you've got these proper physical buttons, which I like to control the temperature because touchscreen is just so distracting when you're trying to drive. You've got this wireless charging tray here for your phone, and this whole area is all sort of rubberized, so you can chuck in keys or what have you without them clanking around. You've got then two smallish cup holders here, which certainly aren't big enough for my drinks bottle, but that's fine. And then this central storage unit here, which is about average size for a small SUV. You've also got a pretty average size glove compartment and two quite small door bins either side of you. We've got a real mixture of materials in this car. We've got this lovely suede here, which you'd probably expect in a car of this price point. And then you've got some nice leather fixtures here on the steering wheel and on the gear shifter. And even some of the harder plastics have been covered in a nice soft touch material, which certainly gives it a slightly more premium edge. These seats as well add to the overall premium feel of the car. You'd probably expect these in one of Toyota's GR spec models. They look nice and sporty. They're covered in that same lovely suede. They're nice and bolstered for when I'm going round sharp corners, but they're also comfy for long journeys. And in the driver's seat here, this one is electrically adjustable. So far, so good then. The materials used in this front cabin feel pretty slick. The seats look good and, more importantly, are comfy. Overall, I'd say it's a pretty driver-focused interior here up front. Does it justify the large price tag, though? I'm not yet convinced. As for the second row, unfortunately, there is a lot left to be desired here. I'm 171 centimetres for context, and as you can see, I don't have a lot of room to play with. The sloping roof and the black ceiling really makes me feel a little bit claustrophobic in here. I haven't even bothered putting my son's car seat in the car because I think even his little legs would be cramped in here. Having said that, there are ISOFIX points should you want to put a car seat in. When it comes to amenities, yeah, they're pretty rudimentary. We don't actually even have door pockets in the back here. We've got two cup holders and we've got one seat pocket, one USB-C port, but not even a single air vent. It just doesn't feel like this car has been designed with backseat passengers in mind at all. As you can probably tell, the back seats for me are a bit of a deal breaker. The lack of space, the lack of amenities. But what about you? Would that stop you from buying this car? Let us know in the comments below. The boot size in this car has increased from the outgoing petrol model to 388 litres. And as you can see, it's actually quite nice and deep. I can fit my pram in here, for example, and a couple of shopping bags, a gym kit, something like that. This high lip, though, does make things a little bit less practical, especially if you've got something heavy like a cumbersome pram or a big suitcase to try and fit in. In terms of what it comes with then, it's got a couple of tie-down points, it's got a subwoofer, and it's got a tyre repair kit in here, which is fine, but I would much rather see a full-size spare or a space saver. Comparatively, you've got 405 litres in the Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross, 407 litres in the Hyundai Kona, and 452 litres in the Nissan Qashqai e-Power, so competitors are offering more space. If you're enjoying today's video and you want to be kept up to date with more great reviews, please subscribe to our channel and hit the bell button so you get notified when we post a new video. Both the Cobra and its lower spec sibling, the GXL, are powered by a 1.8 litre four-cylinder petrol engine, producing 72 kilowatts of power and 142 newton meters of torque. A 70 kilowatt and 185 newton meter electric motor claims to deliver 103 kilowatt combined power to the front wheels via a continuously variable transmission. When I'm in the car then is when I'm reminded that I'm in a very nice, reliable Toyota. The handling is really good. The steering is very light and direct, and when I'm going around corners and sharp turns, the car handles with self-confidence. The suspension feels quite sporty, which rather matches the car's overall look, but I think might divide drivers. For example, when I'm going at a low speed, like I am now, it feels quite firm and I can really feel every lump and bump underneath me. However, when I'm going at a faster speed, the car feels much more composed. The CHR does lack a little bit of oomph, even when I've got my foot down to the floor, and there is a little bit of a lag in acceleration when I initially take off. That being said, this is a small SUV. No one's buying it thinking that they're in a sports car. If you want something a little perkier, then I'd suggest trying the higher spec Toyota CHR GR Sport, which comes with a bigger 2-litre hybrid engine. As you've probably come to expect from Toyota, there is a really seamless transition between the electric motor and the petrol engine. If you spend your time trying to drive the car in the most efficient way you can, by putting it into eco mode and keeping your speed and steering at bay, this is where the car really shines. It feels very measured and driving feels nice and calm, which suits the car best. And as a result, after my week in the car, I returned a really frugal fuel reading of just 4.3 litres per 100 kilometres. So that's all well and good, but does the look of the CHR impact how you drive it? Because of the sloping roof, my vision out of the rear window is a little bit hampered, but this car comes with a full suite of safety technology, including blind spot monitoring, collision warning, and a 360-degree camera to aid with my surroundings when I'm driving. As well as those, every spec of the CHR is fitted with Toyota's Safety Sense technology, which includes lane departure assist, lane trace alert, traffic sign recognition, automatic high beams, and adaptive cruise control. Outside of the Safety Sense platform, the car also comes with a driver attention monitor, safe exit assist, rear cross traffic alert, front and rear parking sensors, and semi-autonomous braking. The CHR has been awarded an ANCAP safety rating of 5 stars, receiving 85% for adult occupancy protection, 88% for child occupant protection, 86% for vulnerable road user protection, and 82% for safety assist. When you think of Toyota, you probably think of words like dependable and sensible. Well, this little car is here to say that dependable and sensible can look a little bit more exciting than what you've probably come to expect from the brand. But it is a polarizing design, so my advice would be this. If you love the look of it, then go for it. It's a solid car and you will definitely stand out from the crowd. However, if you're not convinced by the design, then I would take a closer look at some of its rivals that I mentioned in the review earlier. They offer slightly more practical qualities at a more affordable price tag. As for me, well, considering its rivals, including some of its Toyota brand siblings, I'm just not yet convinced of the price tag attached to the Toyota CHR.